You bumped into a chair, and somehow, you apologized. You replied to an email 2 hours later. Sorry for the late reply. You asked a coworker a completely reasonable question. Sorry to bother you. You disagreed with someone. Sorry, but I think... You shared an idea. Sorry if this sounds stupid. Most people hear these things and think they're harmless, polite, considerate, even kind. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Every unnecessary apology sends the same message. The message isn't, I'm a good person. The message is, I'm not sure I deserve to be here. And when you repeat that message often enough, people start believing it. Not consciously, not all at once, but little by little. Today we're going to talk about the hidden psychology of over-apologizing. Why people do it. Why it quietly changes how others see them. Why it damages confidence from the inside. And what socially confident people do instead. Because the habit that feels the most polite may be slowly teaching the world to respect you less. Most people think respect is lost through big mistakes, a public failure, a bad decision, an embarrassing moment. But social perception doesn't usually work that way. People build impressions from tiny signals. The words you choose, the way you speak, the amount of certainty behind your voice, the way you enter a room, the way you ask for things, the way you disagree. And one of the strongest signals people unconsciously track is this: how often you apologize. Psychotherapist Beverly Engel spent years studying chronic apologizers, people who say sorry constantly, almost as a reflex. What she found was striking. Most of these people believed they were being thoughtful, kind, respectful, considerate. But the people around them often interpreted the behavior very differently. Low confidence, self-doubt, uncertainty. And that's where the problem begins. Because respect is not based only on what you do. It's based on what your behavior repeatedly says about who you believe yourself to be. Most over-apologizing has very little to do with guilt. It's driven by fear. Fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of being disliked, fear of disappointing people, fear of being seen as difficult. Some people learned early in life that keeping everyone happy was the safest option. Maybe there was tension at home. Maybe disagreement was punished. Maybe approval felt conditional. Whatever the reason, they learned a powerful lesson. Make people comfortable and you'll stay safe. So they became experts at reading rooms, experts at detecting tension, experts at smoothing things over before problems even appeared. And eventually, the word sorry became automatic. Not because they had done something wrong, because it became their way of managing anxiety. Think about that. You aren't apologizing for reality. You're apologizing for a negative reaction that hasn't happened. You're apologizing for a future your brain invented. And every time you do it, you reinforce a belief you may not even know you're carrying. My needs are less important than everyone else's. My requests are inconveniences. My opinions require permission. My presence needs justification. The apology is not the real problem. The belief underneath it is. Because every unnecessary apology teaches your brain something. It teaches your brain that your default position in life is guilt. And that's a dangerous lesson to repeat hundreds of times a year. Now let's talk about what happens socially. Imagine two people asking exactly the same question. The first person says, "Sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if maybe you had a minute." The second person says, "Do you have a minute?" Same request, completely different signal. One sounds like they need permission to exist. The other sounds like they already know they belong there. Human beings are incredibly sensitive to these signals. We constantly evaluate confidence, certainty, and status without realizing it. Nobody consciously thinks, "This person apologized 3 times today. I respect them less now." That's not how the process works. Instead, the brain quietly forms an impression. Less certainty, less authority, less confidence, less weight. And after enough repetitions, people begin responding to you differently. Not because they're cruel, not because they're trying to dominate you. Because your behavior became data. The brain is always asking, what does this person's behavior tell me about them? And your behavior keeps giving the same answer. I'm unsure. I'm hesitant. I'm not fully comfortable with myself. Eventually, people stop seeing the apology. They start seeing the identity behind it. You spent years teaching people how to see you. And eventually, they learned the lesson. Now here's something that completely changes how many people think about apologies. In 2013, researchers published a study in the European Journal of Social Psychology. But instead of studying what apologies do to the person receiving them, they studied what happens inside the person giving them. More specifically, what happens when people refuse to apologize for something they genuinely don't believe was wrong. The results were fascinating. People who stood by their judgment reported higher self-esteem, greater feelings of power, a stronger sense of integrity, more control over their lives. Not arrogance, not aggression, not selfishness. Something much healthier. Self-respect. The researchers discovered something most people never consider. Sometimes apologizing doesn't create peace. Sometimes it creates internal conflict. Because your mind knows the difference between a sincere apology and a performance. And every time you perform an apology you don't believe, your brain notices. Every time you apologize simply to avoid discomfort, your brain notices. Every time you say sorry when you don't think you did anything wrong, your brain notices. And the message it receives is simple. My judgment cannot be trusted. My instincts are unreliable. Other people's comfort matters more than my honesty. Think about how expensive that lesson becomes over time. Years of unnecessary apologies don't just lower confidence, they train self-doubt. This is why chronic apologizers often struggle to set boundaries, struggle to speak directly, struggle to disagree, struggle to ask for what they need, because they've spent years rehearsing the belief that everyone else's needs come first. But there's another consequence almost nobody talks about. When you apologize for everything, your real apologies lose value. Think about someone who says sorry 20 times every day. Sorry for texting. Sorry for asking. Sorry for disagreeing. Sorry for speaking up. Sorry for existing. Then one day, they make a genuine mistake, and they say, I'm really sorry. It doesn't land. Because the word has become background noise. The apology carries no weight, no impact, no significance. The person who apologizes for everything is often the person nobody fully believes when they finally mean it. But the person who uses apologies carefully, deliberately, only when they have genuinely done something wrong, when they look someone in the eye and say, I was wrong, I'm sorry, the room listens. Because those words still have value. Scarcity creates meaning. That's true for attention. It's true for trust. And it's true for apologies. This doesn't mean becoming cold. It doesn't mean refusing accountability. It doesn't mean acting superior. It means replacing automatic apologies with intentional language. Instead of, sorry for the late reply, try, thanks for your patience. Instead of, sorry to bother you, try, do you have a minute? Instead of, sorry if this is a stupid question, try, can you help me understand something? Instead of, sorry, this might be a bad idea, try, here's my perspective. Notice what's happening. You're not becoming arrogant. You're not becoming rude. You're simply removing unnecessary self-criticism from your language. You're communicating as if your thoughts deserve to exist. Because they do. And when you actually owe somebody an apology, give it fully. Give it directly. No excuses. No over-explaining. No performance. Just, I was wrong. I'm sorry. 5 words. Honest words. Powerful words. Words that still carry weight because you haven't wasted them 100 times before. Here's what I want you to remember. Respect is not earned by making yourself the smallest person in the room. Respect is earned by occupying your space without apologizing for it. When you've done something wrong, apologize. Own it completely. Take responsibility. But when you've done nothing wrong, stop asking forgiveness for existing. Stop apologizing for speaking. Stop apologizing for asking. Stop apologizing for having needs. Stop apologizing for taking up space, because every unnecessary apology sends a message. And the person receiving that message most often is you. You hear every word. Your brain hears every word. And your brain is always listening. So the next time you're about to say, sorry, pause. Ask yourself one question. Did I actually do something wrong? If the answer is no, don't apologize. Not because you don't care, but because you finally do. If this changed the way you think about confidence, respect, and the signals people send every day without realizing it, subscribe to Social Code. This channel is about understanding the hidden rules that shape how people see you, judge you, and respond to you. Most social dynamics are never explained. They're simply felt. And once you understand them, you start seeing them everywhere.